This week, it seems like we're just living in the world of little red lobsters. OpenClaw, Claude, Molt, whatever the hell you want to call it. But let's just dive in and see what else we covered, because there was quite a bit of content we got over the weekend. World models. Okay, so there was a big argument between Jan LeCun. He is running his own company, but he was one of the developers at Facebook who's leading stuff from memory. He says the leap to AGI is based on world models. Demis Hassabis, head of Gemini at Google, says it's going to be LLMs is going to be a major component, if not the secondary component. Maybe it's world models, but he's just not stating it that way. So there's a bit of an argument in the direction that everyone thinks the world of AI, and once we get to super intelligence, AGI, whatever you want to call it, what that looks like, what that means, it will be dependent on, well, these guys are driving the industry at the moment. I think they're the top big names that are pushing everything and in the actual research of everything as well. So the world models, there was an impressive demo there last week that came out where you can watch some of the videos. It looks like it's rendering a game in real time. So you can drive on like a Hot Wheels course, quite slow, quite buggy. First, like a decent version of what's come out, but as we've mentioned before, world models help train robots interact with the real world. So if you can get a model, a 3D world built that represents the real world, then you can put a training for a robot in that world to simulate things. So then when it goes into the real world, it knows what to do. So having that true digital twin makes a huge difference in the iteration and the speed of being able to train these AI systems to be able to go upstairs, open doors, grab things off a table with their fingers and things like that. Like, that's how these big improvements will happen, rather than having to then physically build robots to do this in the real world, because that will be quite slow. It'll be limited to physical environments and the time it takes to do something, rather than the quick iterative loops inside of an AI training cycle. I won't go into all the detail for this specific bit, but really, and then the other criticism from Jan LeCun was all the demos that we've seen with robots at the moment, they are all simulated. They are demos where the actions and what you're seeing is scripted. It's a set demo video, like it's something that is just remaining there, that is programmed, pre-choreographed. It's not a robot doing something on its own and investigating the world and defining how to do it. Picking itself up, yes, if it falls, that's going to be ad hoc effectively, but the rest of the demo is something that they've pre-scripted and built. And then we even heard, like last year with Optimus robots, that there was someone remotely controlling them in the background. I think that's even the case with another robot that was meant to be launching towards the end of last year. Agents are starting to look like platform shift. OpenClaw, the little red lobster. If you've seen anything following AI on YouTube, all over the place, I'm sure X is talking about it everywhere. And then Molt, what we discussed earlier in the week was the social media for bots. Really, everyone is going crazy about OpenClaw. People who have been building end-to-end automations have been able to achieve this exact same thing for the past 2 years effectively. It is a loop. What do we mean by that? It's a repetitious set of events and tasks. What makes OpenClaw a run is it has 2 time-based sync triggers, which is a heartbeat, which means every half an hour, wake up, you define the prompt, and it'll execute that prompt every half an hour and figure out what to do. Because it's an agent, it has access to tools, so you can then go and check your emails. It's not just answering a chat response. Then there is specific tasks. So Monday morning at 5 a.m. in the morning on a Monday, I want a summary for the week. What's the key things I need to focus on? And with that, because it knows it's got access to your calendar and your emails, it can then go to those and understand what's happened and then give you a summary. The other huge benefit of using one of these sort of systems is it's using what's now called skills that Anthropic's released. So it's a file that describes how to do something. And then once it's been written, it can always know how to do it, which is similar to the tools. So that's why it seems like it's thinking. It's not thinking, it's just running on a timer. The other benefit, the other way people are using it is it's got multi-surface input. So you can message it from Slack, you can message it from Telegram, you can message it, you can give it a phone call, you can have a chat with it. All of these go in as separate inputs, and the tasks are executed one by one. If you put in 5 messages, it'll do the first one. You won't get a response until that one's done, then it'll jump onto the next one. Each input channel is a different context. So what you put into Slack does not affect what goes into Teams. They're separate, or phone calls, like that's how it operates. This is how all agents are built. This is how most AI systems are built. Data comes in, it gets processed. You want it to do something recurringly, you set up a timer. That is the magic of OpenClaw Molt. It's nothing amazing or special. There is quite a lot of security flaws. There was a video I watched yesterday that mentioned 27% of the 35,000 skills. I think the 35,000 number was wrong, and if it wasn't 27%, it was 25. Malicious scripts for the agent to execute. So a quarter of 38,000 different skills that people have created that are there to try and extract data, information, and whatever they can out of these agents about the person who set them up. A lot of people that are doing this don't know how to run these systems properly. They don't understand the security implications. There was a video I watched during the week, it's probably in one of these covers, where he put in his credit card details and gave it access to the bot, so then it can then go and subscribe to setting up a virtual machine in DigitalOcean to clone itself as a new instance on that service. The person goes, oh, no, don't do this, I'm just doing it for testing, while he's clearly exposed his credit card details in the YouTube video as it is, and people are commenting on that anyway. Two levels of security problems there. The whole internet's watching the video, plus whatever the agent does and exposes can go and do whatever I want to with that, as well as then people getting access to those details through prompt injection, other different attacks that are all these different surface attacks that are coming through now, because agents are being run and given autonomy to run and do whatever they want on the computer, not just access certain things. Like there was a big hype saying, oh, my agent called me at 3 a.m. in the morning, I didn't tell her to do that. No, you didn't tell her to call you. However, you did say, run a heartbeat, tell me if there's anything interesting that's happening. And then at 3 a.m. in the morning, it decided to connect to Twilio, get a phone number because you had access to it in your account, and call you, but using that number because it couldn't get a response, or I don't know what triggered it to do that, but that's what it thought. Agent didn't think it's 3 a.m. in the morning, you know what, I'm gonna piss off the owner of me, the agent, and call them. It just did it because you told it to do that. It's running in the background on the computer permanently. And then there's the Molt book. So the Reddit, Facebook type platform for these agents to go in. Everyone thinks this is amazing. My opinion is it's interesting. It's an experiment to see what they do. However, all of these are being prompted by people. They are not doing this autonomously. Humans are prompting these things to go there and do things or force things in a certain way, create a religion, create a cryptocurrency. It could have done that on its own, but it is part of its training data that this is things you can do. These things all exist in social media that it has access to. And then there is also people prompting, writing posts on these things, so then the agents respond to. It's not solely completely agents that are coming up with these things completely autonomously with no human input. We're not at that point. Everything is prompted by a person, it just runs in a repeated loop and you're giving it instructions. It then knows how to do things because it's been trained on the entire world's text corpus of everything it's possible, as well as everything on Reddit, everything public on Facebook, everything public on X. It knows all this stuff because it's seen it. So it can draw conclusions and answer things in ways that seem interesting, but are just recycling or regurgitations and remixes of everything else that's come up out of it. And then everything else is just about sort of like this acceleration gap, where the consensus has been so far that in one day, we will just wake up and have AGI. But that's not the case. It's not going to operate like that. It's going to be incremental changes. Like you go to the gym one day, you don't see a difference. You do it for a year, you'll see a huge difference. That's how AGI is going to come into the world. It's going to be over time, incremental changes, and that gap will get larger and larger and larger between incremental changes. So each change will be a bigger gap, but it's still going to be little changes along the way. It's not going to be a break shift event, next day everything changes. Because more power is going in, little experiments that are happening like Molt book and people are learning from them. And then along with just more money getting put into it and people trying to outcompete with the other companies. So that's where everything will end up going. And then yesterday there was a $2 trillion sell-off in the stock market because the main triggering point, from what I understand, Anthropic released Claude Work, which is their non-developer version of Claude Code. So you don't have to learn how to be an IDE and use a CLI, it's more of an interface. But they released a library of skills as part of a open source free GitHub library package that you can then add to your Claude Work agent. And one of them was legal. It could summarize documents, it compare NDAs, verify clause by clause against your business and processes. And then I think general people actually realized what developers have realized over the past year is how fast things can change and be replaced. And now sell off in these big companies. I can't remember which one it was, a giant legal firm, I think, or a firm that provides this sort of legal assistance. It's automated and replaced most of that standard boilerplate contract template work, the boring stuff, based on looking at using these tools, and it can do that stuff. So the market's all red. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, but you still need the AI companies, you still need the SaaS companies. People are not every business is going to just run it on their own. That's going to introduce too much surface risk for them. They will still rely on these other companies. There are still experts who need to put these together. You still need lawyers to have these interpretations, not just the AI is reading and telling you. But it's interesting now, it's not, the AI bubble hasn't popped, but I think every other SaaS company is now deflating a little bit based on what's happening in the world of AI. So now everyone's getting affected, not just the developer market. Then there was another video I watched on a hack called Shady Panda, which apparently was a Chrome and Edge extension that was in the App Store for several years, 7 years apparently. It was running fine for quite a long time. Then they realized that their code updates to their verified and plugin weren't being checked at all, and they were just getting pushed through. Then they turned malicious, started attacking people. They were even verified, but they were completely tracking, key logging across everything you ever did on a computer, as well as screen recordings, websites, everything. So it was a long wait and attack, but that was an interesting video to see how they do it, because this is what's going to end up happening with these agents and these skills and everything. People aren't checking what they're doing, they're just using things, they're just getting the AI to write things. Anyone can write malicious code if you've got under the right model that can bypass those security issues. So interesting times, attacks will never stop, security is always going to be a big problem, and now we're just accelerating the attack vectors as well as the surface area of what's possible to be attacked, because these are new things that people don't understand. So keep in mind, be secure, be safe. Don't give OpenClaw a complete computer access to your own system. Make another computer, make a virtual machine, put it on a VM somewhere if you're going to play with it. Don't give it access to your credit card. Just be smart about things. And until next week, good luck keeping up with all the news.